I'm really sorry to insult you, but your iPhone is starting to look a little bit small, at least in comparison to these. This is the iPhone 6 with a 4.7-inch display, and this is the iPhone 6 Plus with a 5.5-inch display. Yes, these have got bigger screens, but there's lots more in them too, including new cameras and NFC chips to help you kill your wallet. Both the 6 and the 6 Plus have new Retina HD displays that display far more than you've been able to see on your iPhone 5 or 5S. Like a bigger Android phone, it's great for seeing more of web pages, and Apple's added a special landscape mode for the home screen with the 6 Plus. On both phones, you can move through web pages and emails with swipes on the side. But I really prefer the smaller version for my smaller hands. The 5.5-inch version looks like a small tablet. Both the new phones have 8-megapixel cameras with new sensors inside, and they have a new and faster A8 processor. But the biggest game changer in here might be the NFC chip, which is trying to kill my humongous wallet. Called Apple Pay, you'll be able to register your credit card or bank account with Apple, and you'll be able to pay in stores by just tapping the phone and holding down the Touch ID fingerprint sensor. Apple's worked with lots of stores, including Starbucks, Subway, and some others. Of course, there are plenty of security and privacy questions, though Apple says,
when you add a new credit card, we don't store the credit card number and we don't give it to the merchant.
The 6 starts at $199 and the 6 Plus starts at $299. Both will be available for order this coming Friday and on sale in stores the following Friday. Stay tuned for our full review.
What's up guys, TechRex here. So in this video we're going to be doing a series of durability tests on the brand new iPhone 6. Now this isn't the 6 Plus, just the regular, but it is brand new. I'm just going to take it right out of the box. I just took off the sealing and show you guys the back. This is the space gray, 16 gigabyte.
Is slightly taller and wider, but it is definitely thinner. Like its smaller sibling, the 6 Plus is definitely one of the thinnest smartphones you can get in this size category. The 6 Plus is also about 10 grams heavier than the OnePlus One. Apple gave in to the trend of bigger smartphones, which means that the display comparison is a much more level playing field this time around, and it's almost practically identical. The 6 Plus features a 5.5-inch IPS LCD display, while the OnePlus One comes with a LTPS LCD screen of the same size. Both feature 1080p resolution, resulting in an identical pixel density of 401 pixels per inch. The experience is largely same on both screens. You'll get a good time when it comes to text, games, movies, whatsoever. The OnePlus One did have some issues with some units having a yellowish tinge to it, but at least my unit does not have that problem, so you get a comparable bright color system, good brightness, and great viewing angles on either of these displays. It's the age-old ecosystem debate, as the iPhone 6 Plus does pack with it iOS 8, but powering it is a dual-core A8 processor clocked in at 1.4 GHz along with 1 GB of RAM. But then, on the other hand, we have some of the best that is there to offer in the OnePlus One with the flagship standard, which is the Snapdragon 801 at 2.5 GHz backed by 3 GB of RAM. Now, while there's an obvious difference on paper, it isn't really evident in real-world performance, which is something we've expected in iPhone versus Android already. So regardless of what you do with these phones, you'll have a smooth, quick experience. The iPhone 6 Plus comes with 16, 64, or 128 GB of storage, while the OnePlus One comes in at 16 and 64 GB flavors, and neither offer the option of expandable storage. Apple did finally introduce NFC with their device, even if it is limited to just the use of Apple Pay, but also worth noting is the return of the fingerprint scanner, and that is a convenient layer of extra security which can now be used by some third-party applications in iOS 8. These are features that don't make it onto the more Spartan OnePlus One. As we move into the cameras, we find that the iPhone 6 Plus keeps the 8-megapixel rear shooter from its predecessor, though it does come with a new sensor, an f2.2 aperture lens, faster autofocus, and optical image stabilization, which is not found in its smaller brethren. Video also gets a boost as well, especially with the ability to capture slow-motion video at 240 frames per second in 720p resolution. Indeed, the modes that are available in the iPhone 6 camera application might seem quite limited, but we have found that iPhone quality in terms of this picture has been pretty good in previous iterations, and we don't expect it to change in this one. On the other hand, we have the 13-megapixel Sony Exmor RS sensor of the OnePlus One, combined with a 6-part lens construction with the f2.0 aperture, a dual LED flash, and a great software package that, in contrast to the iPhone 6 camera app, has a lot of different features which will allow for a great camera experience that is catered to the way that you want it to be. On the front, you get a 5-megapixel camera with a wide lens that enables an 80 degrees field of view, which is good for some selfie lovers out there. And finally, in software, we revisit iOS versus Android, but in the case of the OnePlus One, it is CyanogenMod 11S. It's basically a special release built specifically for the OnePlus One to take advantage of all of its hardware and features. You get a clean, minimalistic, stock-like experience